Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Parjanyadanna sambhavah.
Parjanyadanna sambhavah.
Yajnāt bhavati parjanyah.
Yajnāt bhavati parjanyah.
Yajnah karma samudbhavah.
Yajnah karma samudbhavah.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Nityam yajne pratishtitam.
Nityam yajne pratishtitam.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we have been seeing this connection, or we can call it the inner journey, wherein he moves from the external action to the source of action. So in the previous verse, he talked about the action and the various causes pertaining to that in a step-by-step way, but everything was pertaining to the externality. Now, in this verse, he is turning the direction inward. So one thing is, here is action, and from there he proceeded that way. Now he is proceeding inward. So first thing is Brahma, and then Akshara Brahma, Akshara, the imperishable aspect. And then the third, he says, is Sarvagatam Brahma. So this is the inward journey. What is interesting is, he starts off with Brahma or Brahman, which is the formless reality, or what people commonly call as God. Now, generally we say, if you take up to any form worship, now that is to focus the mind, and slowly you'll have to overcome the forms and you need to go to the formless. All these things are said. But here he is straight away starting from that formless reality. Now this question is there in everyone's mind. Is God having a form, or is God formless? Now if you take God or divinity in its purest form, that has to be formless, because what is a form, or how is a form created? When there is a beginning, when there is an end, within that boundary, a form is usually created. You take any form, supposing you take a book. Now there is a boundary defined. So there is a beginning, there is an end. So within that boundary, whatever we see is what we call as a book. It's true with any object. Now, the moment we talk of divinity or God, infinite, now infinite has no beginning, no end. There is no boundary. Boundary means it's finite. So, something which has no boundary cannot have a form. So, from the purest point of view, God or divinity has no form whatsoever. But when that is told to you, can you straight away focus or meditate on that formless reality? The mind doesn't have that capacity. So that is where the form aspect was also given. That is, that supreme reality manifested with respect to the world. Now that is what they called as a Ishta Devata. That is, even within those forms, they said choose some form which is towards your liking, where your mind is naturally drawn to. Ishta means whatever, it's your wish, So they have not put any, what do we say, any strong rule saying that this is the only form which you should worship and these are the rules. There is nothing like that. See, when you follow a system, they have put certain rules so that the mind doesn't go into a state of indiscipline and tamas. But if you go into real spirituality, there are actually no rules because every aspect of this world is pervaded by that reality. Then how can we fix any rules? See, supposing you offer a flower to the deity of God. Now the flower is fresh and so you offer. Supposing, let's say, the flower is not fresh the next day, will you continue to keep it there? No. Now you will take it out and you may bring in another flower. Now there are many people who believe that to have that old flower is inauspicious. God will get angry. So in order to please God, we need to bring new flowers every day. Now, if you do that ritual or puja with that kind of attitude, then you're not going to really grow spiritually. Because God is present in the new fresh flower and God is equally present even in that old flower. So then why do you need to change? That is the practicality. See, if some discipline is not followed, the mind will slowly get into tamas. So the various rules, if at all, given by a few masters here and there, they are all meant to ensure that the mind doesn't slip into tamas. So you should have that clear understanding when you are following any rule. God is equally present in the deity and outside also. Someone asked me, sir, when you say God is all pervading, does it mean that God is present or that power is present even in the waste paper basket? Yes. That is what is the truth. But does your mind have the capacity to see God in a waste paper basket? No. Because generally the mind associates, when we talk of the higher divinity and all that, with positive things. If all negative things are given and see God and all that, you'll run away. Your mind will not be able to practice that straight away. So they kept things which were pleasant to you, things which could directly inspire you, certain incense smells which could elevate your mood, certain flowers, certain decorations, certain practices, certain idols. An idol represents that supreme Brahman. Brahman or God is not restricted to that idol. If you ask me, sir, do you mean to say the idol is not God? Definitely no, idol is God only. But so is everything. So God is not restricted to any particular form, any particular practice or ritual or all that. All that is meant to discipline your mind. Since your mind doesn't have the capacity to directly meditate on that formless reality, some masters gave out these practices. And these practices kept on changing according to the times. In the good old times, they used to worship nature. When they say worship nature, nature as a manifestation of God, that is what is the first Brahma, the Kshara Brahma. Actually, he is not saying Kshara. We are deriving that based on the next word which he uses, Akshara. He has deliberately avoided that word here to give that message that ultimately God is formless. Later on, he'll be using it very liberally. Once you understand the basic principle, thereafter, any word can be used. You'll never misunderstand. So the problem today is that when it is said by some master that supposing a master points out to some idol or some object and says, this is God, the students immediately understand it as this alone is God. Then another master may come and point at another object and say, this is God. Now those students now think that alone is God. So then there is a clash. So this fundamental understanding should be there if you want to become a sadhak, if you want to grow in spirituality. That there are no limitations to God whatsoever. That supreme reality is present everywhere, in everything, in every situation, in terms of time, space and causation. I did explain to you, when I was explaining the word sarva, sarvagatam, that which has gone everywhere. With that understanding in the background, if you do whatever ritual you're doing, whatever puja you're doing, that will help you. See, some people, they just understand these things intellectually, and then they belittle rituals and form worship and all that. That is also wrong. There is nothing to belittle. What these masters are saying is everything has a purpose. Now you should not get stuck at that level. That's all. So initially, for example, if you take bhakti, devotion, when you start off with devotion, normally you will not bow down to divinity, but when you go to a temple, then you get reminded of God. So you get into a state of surrender and you bow down. But the moment you come out of the temple, now you don't remember. There are many people who go to a temple and then also they don't remember. I have seen people sitting and gossiping, in a place of worship. That is how you start off with. Then specific places, you feel that this place is holy, that place is holy. All those are very limited concepts. But it helps a person who is at the basic level to develop some kind of emotion, devotion towards the higher. Now, similarly, even in your home, you have a puja room, you have some idol or photograph, picture of God, and you pray every day. Now, what do you do when you're praying? Essentially, you're surrendering, you're bowing down. But the moment you start other activities, now you don't remember divinity. So, in certain such activities, you remember. So, they act as reminders for you. But as you advance in spirituality, as you begin to do your sadhana properly, then you will start experiencing God everywhere. Inside the temple or place of worship and outside. So, it is a development, it is growth. If you keep on advancing in spirituality, a time would come where 24/7 you are constantly in communion with the higher self or God. One aspect of you is always pegged on to that supreme reality. Whatever it is that you may be doing in the world, that will not distract your devotion, your focus. As he says, ananyas chintayanto mam, means ananya means no other thought, just single pointedly be focused on the higher, on the self, get established in that. A state would come in your spiritual path. At that time, you are constantly in a state of devotion or jnana. Both jnanam, that is knowledge, and devotion, they unite. There is no difference. So, this is a gradual awakening. Inner awakening, we can say. So, from Brahma, that is, we let us include all the forms and everything, Kshara Brahma. You will move to the Akshara Brahma. And then from Akshara Brahma, you will move to Sarvagatam Brahma. When I say you will move, what I'm talking about is the journey of your consciousness. Your consciousness will get pegged on to that. So that is why it is very important not to get stuck or attached to any tradition or any kind of practice, because when you move to the higher level you will need to drop that. You don't need to drop it, that will drop off by itself. And when, see, whether it's bhakti or jnana, it's one and the same thing. See, we consider the Vedas as the most sacred, but in the second chapter, Lord Krishna says, if those who delight in the mere letter of the Vedas, now they are completely lost. And in one of the Upanishads, he talks of the lower knowledge and higher knowledge, apara vidya and paravidya. What is interesting is, in the apara vidya, he puts the Vedas. Upanishads themselves are a part of Vedas only. That is calling as apara vidya. That is, with other lower knowledges, he puts the Vedas also. And then he says there is something called paravidya, which is higher than all this. What is he talking about? If you carefully think about. So does it mean now we shouldn't read the Vedas? It's not that. Vedas are the most sacred literature we could ever get. Now, if you get stuck with the mere words and mere intellectualizing all this, that is the lower aspect. But what is higher than all that is what we are seeing in the yogic approach. See, every Sunday, the higher aspects, the higher vidya, the para vidya is being given to you in a systematic way. All the essentials. So, in every aspect of life, you will find that there are certain things which are non-essentials, there are certain things which are essentials. And the non-essentials have no meaning if the essentials are not practiced. Supposing you take a relationship, let's say a marriage. Now, in every custom, they have some symbol. For example, in the South Indian custom, they have the Mangal Sutra, which is to be tied. The husband ties it to the wife. North India also, the same Mangal Sutra is there. A different kind. And even in the South, according to which custom you are following, different kinds of Mangal Sutras are there to be tied. In some other customs, they exchange rings. The ring becomes a symbol of marriage. Similarly, the Mangal Sutra is a symbol of marriage. Even the kumkum, the sindoor, the ladies apply it on the forehead, on top of the forehead. That as a mark, yes, now I'm married, I'm committed. Now, if you really think about it, these are only symbols. Now, supposing, let us say, a person is valuing the Mangal Sutra so much, but he is constantly insulting his wife. Is there any meaning in that relationship? Vice versa, the wife has so much of value for the ring or whatever be the symbol, but absolutely no love towards her partner. Now there is no meaning. So the love, the unconditional love, the affection, all these things are the essentials. Now, if that is not there, then these symbols lose their significance. This is so important for you to understand this, because today people are caught up with the symbols. They have forgotten the essentials. And when it comes to spirituality, everyone is caught up, or they've got stuck with the symbols, the non-essentials, and they have forgotten the essentials. And without the essentials, the non-essentials make no sense. That is why in the Upanishad these days, the Vedas are also apara vidya. What does he mean? Without that higher sadhana and energy, without doing sadhana, without getting connected with the higher energy, merely just studying the scriptures, he says, that is apara vidya, lower knowledge or lower wisdom. So this is the path where you move from the apara vidya to the paravidya, from the lower aspects to the higher aspects. A yogi is one who is firmly established in the higher aspects of life. So that is why when you meet a master, you feel very comfortable, irrespective of what is your nationality, whether you're, what is your gender, your nationality, your age, your religion, your caste, your creed. Irrespective of all that, when you meet a true master, you get so much of positive energy. You feel very comfortable with him. Why? Because he is like the ocean. He has moved on to the essentials, the higher vidya, the higher wisdom. And therefore, he has that all acceptance. He sees divinity in everything and everyone. So when we are going into the depth of this principle, Brahma, Akshara and Sarvagatam Brahma, when we are going into so much of depth, remember that this is exactly the path which you need to follow, and your consciousness has to expand. This is the inward journey which he is talking about directly here. Merely performing action is of no use, even in spirituality. Some people, they just do whatever the rituals are in a mechanical way. No, unless that connection is established with the essentials, with the higher, that practice loses its significance. So someone asked me, sir, how to revive Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma means eternal principles, eternal values, the higher wisdom, higher principles. How to revive? It is by reviving the essentials, the sadhana and the connection with the higher energy, that Sanatana Dharma can be revived. Not by mechanically following the rituals, because after a while that significance will get lost. Today everyone is focusing on the non-essentials, but you have a great opportunity. The yogic approach, we are focusing on the essentials. So that's why we call this as a universal wisdom. Wisdom meant for everyone, irrespective of your nationality, of your gender, of your religion, of your caste, creed, your community, anything you take. Sir, I believe in this particular God. Can I do this yogic sadhana? Yes. Sir, I don't believe in that God. I believe in this God. Can I do the yogic sadhana? Yes. Sir, I don't believe in any God. Can I do the yogi? Can I gain the yogic wisdom? Yes. Maybe a little more difficult because you may find it a little difficult to focus your mind, but it's still possible. So, you see, even in our Puranas, sage Narada, he says, even if you hate God, you will still reach the infinite. You will go to the highest. He gives the example of people like Kamsa. Kamsa was always afraid of Krishna. He was afraid of God, hatred and fear. He got moksha. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, these were all some of the examples which he gives. They all reached God by hating God. Now you may now ask me, sir, what is this? Devotion to God we can understand. How can you evolve spiritually when you hate God? See, whether you're hating God or loving God, now God is beyond all love and hatred. What happens if you hate God 100%? You're still thinking about God only, no? Kamsa was constantly thinking about Krishna. Hiranyakashipu was always thinking about Vishnu only and hating him. That is the amazing thing. So, he's not talking about, it's not that if you hate God, you will go. It's not that. He's talking about that single pointedness. In other words, the message there is whatever it is that you're following, all these things do not matter. Ultimately, where is your focus? Are you gaining more and more single pointed focus towards the higher? If that is happening, then that will take you to the highest. Incidentally, you may ask me, sir, shall I then follow atheism or shall I follow this path of hatred towards God? It's very difficult to follow that because the more you hate, the more you get into that emotion, now your mind will become stressed. So, on paper, this principle is true, but in practice, it is safer, it is better, it is best, I would say, to take up the straightforward, simple yogic path which our masters have given, where there is no stress on the mind, so you can easily continue in that path. So there are many youngsters who ask questions, who question all this, and when the parents, the elders are unable to give answers, then what the elder says, just simply follow blindly. Now, a rational mind will not be able to follow anything blindly. There are some people who follow things blindly, but even that is not true spirituality. Whether you follow something in a blind way or whether you follow something in a logical way, the question is, where is your focus? Is it backed by that higher understanding, the understanding of the essentials? So, if you really go into the depth of this wisdom, it fulfills a person who wants logic, it fulfills a person who wants devotion, it fulfills a person who is very active. Everything is fulfilled because this is a total wisdom. It takes care of all the aspects of your personality. So know that action springs from Brahma. Brahma originates from Akshara, imperishable. Therefore, Tasmat, the all-pervading Brahman is ever established in sacrifice. So, as I was telling you, Brahman or the Supreme is infinite. It is established in everything. So why is he talking about yajna in particular? Because yajna is the principle through which you can get established in Brahman. God is present everywhere, outside, inside, everywhere. But where can you make a connection? It is only when you go within. The highest sacrifice is a sacrifice of the ego. And where is that ego? Is it there outside or inside you? It is there inside you. So when you break a coconut in the temple, that's symbolic. The coconut is the hard shell, your hard ego. And when you break that, then you get the vision of God. So it's a reminder of the internal sadhana. It's a reminder that, yes, my purpose is to break my ego. So as you progress from Brahma to the imperishable and then all-pervading Brahman, you become insignificant. All the ego vanishes automatically. So by converting all your actions into yajna, you can get connected and established in Brahman. Why? Because Brahman is established in yajna, he says. Again, it's not that it is restricted there, but that is where you can get connected. So, is ever established in yajna. See, he uses the word nityam yajne pratishtitam. These are all very powerful words which have been used, very relevant to your sadhana. So when he says nityam, nityam means ever, at all times. See, there is a very deep sadhana principle embedded in that. Generally, people have this concept, this time is auspicious, this time is inauspicious. I will worship God only between this time and that time. Why? Because it's auspicious time. Now here he says, there is no particular time and all that. Nityam. Brahman is established in yajna always. And if you get into the spirit of yajna, now you will start getting connected to the infinite forever, at all times. So, which is the most auspicious time to think of God? Every moment is auspicious. That's why I keep saying, once you have become a sadhak, now you should rise above all these limited concepts, See, when you're worshipping the Sarvagatam Brahma, when you are moving in that path, now how can you get stuck with all that? Very limiting beliefs, Just for argument's sake, let us say that the master suddenly calls you and says, now you come at 12 o'clock in the night. I will give you the experience of the infinite. Are you going to say, no, 12 o'clock is tamasic time. I'll come only at 4 o'clock in the morning because that is Brahma Muhurta. No, will a student ever say that? If he says it, then there's something wrong, You should consult a psychiatrist only. So by using these words like sarvagatam, gone everywhere, and then nityam yagne pratishtitam, by using the word nityam, sarva, all these words, he is trying to expand your mind. He is trying to make your mind all inclusive. Again, don't misunderstand this and start justifying your weaknesses. Some people, they don't have any discipline. Why? Because I am seeing God everywhere. No, please don't do that. When you follow a discipline, your mind will become more focused. But the very idea of following all that is to get into this state where you start experiencing Brahman everywhere at all times. So don't misunderstand this and start misusing this philosophy. I should put a word of caution here, because the tamasic mind, it's constantly looking for something or other which it can use to justify its tamas. So you should advance in your sadhana and slowly come to a state where at any point of time you can just simply close your eyes and make the connection with the higher. At least when you're having some issues and all that, at that time, instead of, that issue will be bothering your mind so much. If you have true devotion, true surrender to the Guru, what you will do is, you'll just take a little time, close your eyes, you will invoke the Guru Shakti and seek help, seek guidance. Because that will automatically, once the Guru Shakti starts flowing, it will make your mind also flow towards the higher. And you will find amazing results. The healing will happen. You experiment it and see. At least you can start practicing that. No. I will invoke the Guru Shakti only between this time and that time. Why? Because that is only the auspicious time. Some people, Monday this is auspicious time, Tuesday this is Wednesday, so that also keeps on changing. What day is today? Thursday. So I will not invoke the Guru Shakti or God right now. I wait for 8 hours. After that only I'll do. So come out of these concepts. So if you really ask me, what is the sadhana meaning of Nityam? What is the most auspicious moment? See, when God is present everywhere, now when should I worship? Right now. I explained this to you when we were doing Sarva itself. Sarvagatam, He's further emphasizing on that. So this moment which has been given to you is the most sacred time. Why? Because Sarvagatam Brahma is there in that moment. See, even though time keeps on moving, you experience time neither as a past or the future. You experience it only as a present. Past is but a dream. Future is unborn. For when born, it is a present. You carefully understand. Past is but a dream. It is gone. You don't experience the past now. You may say, no sir, I can remember the past. Is that happening in the present or in the past? It is still happening in the present only. You're thinking about the past in the present. So this is the experience now. The past is gone. The memories of the past, like a ghost, is sticking in your mind, and that is what you're experiencing. So past is but a dream. Future is unborn. Means it is not yet born. So how can you experience it? It is always unborn. Why? For when born, means when the future is born, it is the present. You experience tomorrow. By the time you go to tomorrow, that is your today, no? It is your present moment only. So therefore, present moment is the only reality. So when he says Nityam, past, present and future, God is present at all times, yes. But when can you contact God? Right now, in your present moment. Why? Because you are experiencing life itself only in the present moment. But your mind is resisting that. It wants to go to the past. It wants to go to the future. But you cannot. So yoga, the higher wisdom, is training your mind to accept this reality and stay put in the present. And when that starts happening, all your faculties, all your energies will start getting conserved and they will all be focused in this sacred moment, which is right now, and you will experience the divinity. The present moment is a doorway to the infinite. It is the portal through which you go to the infinite dimension. All the youngsters, you watch the science fiction movies, no, different dimensions, this, that. This is the internal science. Only thing is, this is not fiction. This is the truth. The present moment is the portal, is the entrance through which you can enter the infinite dimension. But your mind is not doing that. It is constantly running everywhere except where it should be. If you just close your eyes even for a few minutes, so many thoughts. Thought about this, thought about that, thought about yesterday, thought about tomorrow. But what is in between those thoughts? It is that silence which is the present. It is always there. That's why Ramana Maharishi, when someone asked him how to, he kept on saying, know thyself, Nan Yar, who am I? Find out. So they asked him, how to find out who am I? He said, look between two thoughts. Means look means where? You're not outside. Obviously, two thoughts means inside. Is that one thought is there, appearing, and then it dies, and then the next thought comes. In between the two thoughts, that is the silence. That is where the Sarvagatam Brahma can be contacted. It is not that Brahma is not there in other things, but you can contact it there. But the flow of thoughts is so high that you find it very difficult to focus on that which is behind those thoughts. But as you do your sadhana, you will start experiencing all this. So, Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam, ever established in Yajna. Everything is divine, every moment is divine. As sadhaks, put this in your deeper minds. If at all you are having some beliefs, why not believe in the infinite? Why have limiting beliefs? Put your full faith, put your full belief in that infinite power. and see how your life gets transformed. Nobody can touch you, no situation thereafter can touch you. You will get the ability, the sankalpa shakti to achieve whatever it is that you want. But the problem is the mind lacks that faith. The mind lacks that focus. It wants to run away from reality. Your own thoughts, your own emotions are taking you more and more away from what the reality is, which is right there in front of you. What is that? This present moment. Nityam. So Nityam means at all times, but the sadhana message which you derive is present moment. So Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. What is interesting is, see, we are talking of getting established, right? So Brahman is established in Yajna. Now, he is using the word pratishtitam for establishment. That word is very beautiful. It's a beautiful construction. It is derived from the root stha. Stha means to stand, to be established, to stand in something, to be established in something. That is stha. From that only the word has been derived. Prati is a beautiful word which means many things. That is, whenever you move towards an object, that is called prati. Prati means towards. Whenever you move against an object, that is in the opposite direction, that is also called prati. So towards is also prati, against is also prati. Prati also means back. What is in front of me, you will start moving towards this, right? Now, what is behind me? The backward movement, that is also called prati. Prati also means every, means we saw no sarvagatam. You move anywhere, you can call it prati. Not only that, prati also means likeness. Likeness means, see, sometimes in order to get established in something, you may copy it. You may create a copy of it. That is also prati only. See, it is a complete word where he is telling you, when he is talking about firmly getting established in something, he is using the word prati just to say that this establishment is from all directions in every possible way. Supposing you say, no, I want to get established in something, that is in terms of I want to exchange something and get established. Prati means that also, in exchange of. So in every possible way, if you are trying to relate to something, prati fits in so beautifully. So when he is talking about being established, he uses the word pratishtitam. So in all possible ways, you may say, sir, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am in this field, I am in that field, I am in this country. Doesn't matter. Anything you are doing in life, you can still get established in that infinite. Why? Because that infinite is present everywhere. Sarvagatam. Sir, I am in this corner of South India. Can I reach God? Yes, you can get connected. Why? Because God is there. Sir, I am in the some other part of the world. I am in some forest in Africa, can I grow spiritually? Yes, you can get connected to that Supreme. Why? Sarvagatam Brahma. God is there also. Pratishtitam. If you want, wherever you are, sir, I am 70 years old, can I am 85, 90 years old, can I get established in God? Yes. In our scriptures, they have said even before a baby is born, Prahalada, the story of Prahalada. That incident is so inspiring. He was in his mother's womb. Sage Narada was giving spiritual lessons to his mother, who was the wife of Hiranyakashipu. See, that's what is very interesting. Prahalada was born to Hiranyakashipu, but still he was divine. Doesn't matter where you are born. So when Narada was teaching Prahalada's mother the higher aspects of spirituality, she fell off to sleep. She found probably she found it a little boring, as he was saying that everything is God and all that. She went off to sleep. And when she went off to sleep, what is amazing is that Narada observed that the womb, the embryo in her womb, that was listening to his discourse and receiving that energy. Narada got so deeply inspired by that. And he gave so much of healing. He gave many, some empowerments. When Prahalada was in the womb, just imagine his level. So, right from birth, Prahalada was a highly spiritually evolved soul. So, in our scriptures, they've said, because, sir, what age should I start? Some people ask, sir, what is the right age for spirituality? When you're in your womb itself, if possible. Sir, what about the other maximum age? 80, 90, 100? In the good old days, they have lived thousands of years. So no issue in that side or from that side also. So no minimum, no maximum limits and all that. Pratishtitam. Pratishtitam means prati. No limits. In every possible way, your goal, your purpose is to get completely established in that infinite supreme reality. Sir, when should I do it? This moment. Anytime. Means this moment. Where should I do it? Wherever you are. How should I do it? Yajna. Get into the spirit of yajna right now. See what happens. So, the word pratishtitam is so powerful for a sadhak. It gives, all these words, sarvagatam, sarva, then nityam, becomes very powerful for a sadhak, and then pratishtitam. So when you get into the spirit, it is the establishment in that infinite is definitely possible. That is what he's trying to say. Because you may get doubts. Sir, I've been doing sadhana for a long time. Still my mind is running here and there. Doesn't matter. When that energy starts flowing, the establishment happens automatically. Just be consistent in your path. Be devoted. Don't get distracted. You got the highest wisdom here. You got on to the yogic wisdom, the yogic approach. Don't look this side, don't look that side. There is nothing else which you require. Whatever you require, everything is being given to you just like that. all you need to do is maintain your focus and consistency. Maintain that faith. Consistently do your sadhana and see the miracle of pratishtitam happening in your life. Your consciousness, your mind, your every aspect of your personality will get firmly established in that infinite consciousness. This is the satyam, this is the truth. Don't get bogged down by the various so-called failures. There is nothing called failure. Everything which you call as a failure is only an experience to teach you something, to further push you into the path. In the yogic path, there is only one thing, that is pratishtitam, success, getting established in the higher. Whenever you fall, that teaches you something so that you can be more consistent in your path. So, tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam means right now. Nityam yagne pratishtitam, firmly established. So, in one stroke, he has taken you right till the highest, and then he has given you the sadhana principle and says, you just follow this. That's all. Okay? So now we'll move on to the next verse, verse number 16. Evam pravartitam chakram
Evam pravartitam chakram
nanuvartayati hayah
nanuvartayati hayah
aghayurindriya ramah
aghayurindriya ramah
mogham partha sajivati
mogham partha sajivati
evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayatiha yaha. Yaha means whoever it may be. One who does not follow the revolving wheel. Na anuvartayati. Nanuvartayatiha means na anuvartayati iha. Anuvartayati means following. Na anuvartayati means one who does not follow. So one who does not follow what? Chakram, the wheel. What is the pravartitam chakram? Means the revolving wheel. Thus set here, iha. So yaha means one who. Whoever does not follow na anuvartayati, the pravartitam chakram, the revolving wheel thus set here. I'm first translating, then we'll go into the verse. Aghayuhu, agham ayuhu yasya saha. Aghayuhu means sinful. He is living in sin, he says. Aghayuhu indriyaramaha. One who is delighting in the senses, means one who is caught up in the senses, who knows nothing more, nothing further. So, aghayuhu, then indriyaramaha, mogham. Mogham means in vain. He lives in vain. Saha jivati. Mogham partha sa jivati. Jivati means lives. Such a person lives in vain. O Partha, O Arjuna, another name of Arjuna. One who does not follow the revolving wheel thus set here, sinful, delighting in the senses, he lives in vain, O Partha. He lives in vain means he has wasted the great opportunity which he means he or she. So, that great opportunity of getting this human birth, that has been wasted. So, this is again a typical language of the Shastras. It's talking about the pravartitam chakram, uses the word chakram. When we go deep into it, it will be so inspiring for you. So basically, in this verse, he is giving you the consequences of not following yajna. Say all along, he's been telling you, do yajna, do yajna. As far as you're concerned, doing sadhana, let's further simplify it. In these last few verses, we have been using the word yajna. But right from beginning, I've been telling you, do sadhana, do sadhana, do sadhana. You may get fed up, but I will never get fed up with, with that. So this is a very interesting verse where if you fail to do your sadhana, then what are the consequences? Obviously, the consequences will be negative. So he's spelling it out here. So one who does not follow the revolving wheel thus set here. He's talking about that cycle which we just now saw in the last couple of verses, where we started off with food. That is, the beings prosper from the food, and then food comes because of rain. The rain comes because of yajna, yajna comes from action, and then that was in that verse. And then the next verse he said, the action comes from Brahma, and then Brahma comes from imperishable, imperishable comes from Sarvagatam Brahma. All these things he said, and then finally came back to action, and specifically to yajna, converting every action into yajna. So this is the cycle, the wheel, as he calls it, chakram. So if you don't follow that, one who does not follow the revolving wheel thus set here, means he has explained it in these two verses, but here means in this life, What are the results? First thing is, such a person lives in sin. Agham. Agham means sinful, sins. What it means, we'll see. But it's a very negative energy, the person acquires a lot of negative energy. And indriya aramaha, his only main goal is sense enjoyment. Nothing else is his or her aspiration. There is so much of potential within you. There is nothing wrong in enjoying the senses, but here he is talking of indriyaramaha, means indriyeshu aramaha. That is, one who is caught up, one who completely relaxes. Aramaha means relaxes, doesn't put any other effort in life. That is what he is referring to. So you have to understand it carefully. Because if you misunderstand it, you will say, oh, he is now saying don't enjoy anything in life. No. Indriyaramaha means completely staying put in the enjoyments of the senses and not thinking of anything further, stopping all efforts in life. Extreme case of Indriya Ramaha is addiction. When a person gets addicted to alcohol or any other substance, now that person slowly stops putting all his or her efforts in other aspects of life. So that is what he's referring to. And then Mogham, such a Mogham Sahajivati. He lives in vain. Such a person lives in vain because a great potential, has gone. What is the human potential, and what is that person? What kind of a life has that person led? There is no connection at all. Oh Partha, oh Arjuna. So when he says, oh Partha, you put yourself in Partha's position. And Lord Krishna is giving you the message directly. Instead of thinking, oh, Krishna gave this to Arjuna. Now, what about you then? See, there also the mind tries to objectify it. Say, Arjuna requires that message. Some people say that. As if now they have grown to such a high level where they are saying, Arjuna is like that. And oh, Partha means it's you only. You have to learn to personalize this. Then this will give you so much of meaning. So, what is interesting is that construction, yaha saha. See, you may ask, sir, what is this, sir? Why is he talking so negatively? One person actually asked me this. Why is he saying you live in vain? In the second chapter, he said, Buddhi nashat pranashyati. If you lose your intellect, awareness, buddhi goes, pranashyati, total destruction. Sir, why is he cursing like this? Actually, if you really understand this verse, it is not a curse, it is a blessing, because he is telling you where the dangers are. See, if you want to walk on a road, supposing you don't know the path and you come and ask me, sir, how do I reach this place? And I tell you, you go here, take left, take right, and then your destination will be there. Now you say, thank you, sir. Now I just say, 1 second, stop. As you're going, remember there is a big pit. As you're turning left, there is a pit there. So you be careful of that, because if you fall into the pit, then your whole journey will go waste. No? That's what he's saying. Mogam, in vain. And then when as you walk there, just be careful. There are some very sharp stones, So in case, ensure that you don't step on that. If you step on that, you will get hurt. And that turning towards the right, be careful, because heavy, the vehicles will turn at will be going at a high speed there. So be careful there. Now, when these things are told to you, if you are not careful there, you may have an accident. So be careful. Sir, why are you talking so negatively, sir? Why are you talking about the pit? Why are you talking about the sharp stones? Why are you cursing me like this, sir? Supposing you are. Is it a curse or blessing? Think about it. It is actually a blessing. When a guru corrects, it is a great blessing. It may be a little harsh to the ego, but it is actually a very great blessing to have someone who can show us the way and correct us if we are going in the wrong path. Here he is not even correcting, he is only giving a warning, saying this is the right path, but if you go in this wrong path, your whole life will go waste. You will just be living in vain. You will be, wasting all your energies. So what is the idea? The idea is to caution you. Listen, this is your great potential as a human being. You've got this human birth. Now, ensure you don't go in this wrong path. It is a word of caution out of love and affection which he is telling us. Whenever a master corrects, he does it out of so much of love, unconditional love, affection and compassion. Does Krishna need to say all this? He is an avatar. He is not obligated, really speaking, to tell us all this. But yet, he is giving us this message. Was Vyasa obligated to record it and give it to us? No. No one is obligated that way. Yet these great masters are giving us this wisdom. It is a great, great blessing. This, even though prima facie, when you look at this verse, it looks like he's talking of the negatives. He's not talking of the negatives. He is just putting a word of caution to protect you. The energy of protection is what you should experience from this verse. If your approach is right, you will receive the energy of protection. Whenever a guru corrects, you as a true student, a student who has fully surrendered, will receive the blessings, will receive the energy of protection. Whereas when the ego is active, it will interpret that in a negative way. Oh, why is the guru so harsh to me? Why is the master talking like that to me? That's how the ego will work. So, in the next session, we will go into the depth of this verse. It's a very powerful verse because as we are seeing what should not be done, I will also give you what should be done parallelly, so that we will derive the sadhana principles as we go into the depth of this verse. That is how we do it in the yogic approach. So, just casually think about this. When he uses the word mogham in vain, just examine yourself, your life. You've lived so many years, right? Am I really happy with myself? Am I really happy with whatever I have done in my life so far? Just do, a brutal factual analysis. Don't get bogged down. Supposing you say, I could have done this better than, oh, sir, what is this? The idea is not to get bogged down. So that you can correct yourself now. Nityam means right now. You can start changing the course of your life. So this verse will help you so much in changing the direction of your life if you approach it properly. So anyway, we are using the yogic approach. So there is no chance that you will approach this in a negative way. So we will see further in the next session. Now we'll do Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my real self. My higher self is infinite and divine. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very powerful session today. The entire journey is inward. And as you progress in this inward journey, your personality will get transformed for the better. And the effect of that will be a lot of positivity, positive energy in your external life. So in the coming verses, he'll be giving more and more principles, practical principles. It's not about how much you know that matters. It is how much you practice, how much you absorb and practice. Okay? So I'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.